What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, and I'm bringing you another big ass Bowie. So this is the NIB Brian Wilhoite Canyon Diablo, and I have to say it's all the Diablo that you would want to ask for. Just look how thick even just the sheath is. This is it's a pretty burly, well-made sheath. It does have like this plastic threading that goes through. It's got that quasi Native American / Viking feel to it, which is kind of cool. It is good leather. It smells good. You got the Brian Wilhoite custom right there, and not too bad on the sheath. Not too bad at all. But we're not talking about the sheath today or any other day. We're talking about this guy right here. 15.5 inches overall with a 10-inch stainless steel blade. Now it says surgical steel, so obviously we know that this is a 440 variant, and it's not bad, man. The shape of this thing is really nice. Once I get it into the sun too, you guys are really going to be able to get a good piece of looking on this. This isn't bad. We have some really nice stag handles. Your pommel and your quillin, your handguard, everything, even your spacers are all Damascus steel, which just adds to the look. Now, the only issue I've had with this knife so far, as I took it out into my my XL Bowie knife chopping video, the only issue is right here. This bolster right here is kind of sharp on the edge. So when you're chopping, if you're not hiked way up, if you're hiked way up, you're not going to feel this. But I like to get a very low grip when I chop. I like to let the blade do the swinging and the okay grip, you know, like kukri style. And that'll dig into your hand a little bit when you're not wearing gloves. I do all my testing without gloves, you know that. But I have to say, it was pretty impressive. And I'll tell you what, this thing came very sharp out of the box. I've already done some chopping. Obviously, if you guys seen my best XL choppers video, you will see that I don't know if it's going to pick up because we're in the shade here. Yeah, you could see it there. It all started gathering in one spot. But you'll see that I totally forgot what I was just saying. But yeah, you'll see I was doing some chopping with this, and I laid this into some fallen tree. We're going to do some more of that today, and we're going to do a couple extra things just to show you this blade. Now, these are dirt cheap for a big Bowie like this, and a custom design. The price is really good. Don't ask me what it is because I totally forgot, but I want to say it was in the 50 range. That's, I'm guessing, but completely worth it so far from what I found. I absolutely love it. It is a true full tang, and it is pinned. So you get that. The blade is made in Pakistan. And in Pakistan, a lot of people don't like Pakistani knives because the only experience they have with Pakistan knives are those multi-produced, you know, things that come out and they're just all kinds of jagged and not finished. This one was finished fairly well. There's some companies out there in Pakistan that actually, they do some really good blade work. Whoever he issued this design out to in Pakistan did a really good job. I like it. It's not going to be, you know, the fit and finish of a case. Fit and finish of a case. How about fit and finish of a case? It's not going to be, you know, that level. It's not going to look all pretty like a buck, but it shouldn't really have to. This is supposed to be a big, rugged, usable Bowie. So it really doesn't matter if it's, you know, 100% pretty. It's a workhorse, and that's what you want. When you're talking about a big Bowie, you want a big workhorse. The blade has decent thickness, but for the size, you'd want to see a little bit thicker. It does have a hollow grind edge, which normally you'd say, well, that means it's not going to be a supreme chopper because you'd have to worry about chipping the edge being a hollow grind. No, I haven't had any problems with it so far. All that did for me was just add to the bite and the overall ability to cruise through wood. So, I mean, so far so good with me. Let's take this thing out and go get some work done. Remember, this guy was a knife designer and that's why it's made in Pakistan, not made in his shop. He's a knife designer. He designed knives for companies all over the world. I mean, Case included. He designed knives for lots of companies. So when it was time, he finally started doing his own designs and putting his own name on them. Even though he's not forging them, this is a Brian Wilhoite design, and that's exactly what it is. So let's go run with this bad boy. All right, we didn't have to run far. As a matter of fact, nowhere at all. All right, let's see if we can't take this thing through the half gallon of milk. I want to see if I can hit it high. That way, if I don't push it over, I might be able to get a couple out of it. I'm gonna go right through that little handle. That's what I want to do. All right, here we go. Woo! I went above the handle, but I took that thing right off the hard plastic area. That's pretty good. So let's take another one. That's pretty much where I wanted to hit it the first time. Now, there's no water in there, so if I hit it, it's most likely just going to fly away, but what the hell, we're here. We're not doing anything else anyway. It flew away. Now, I did go through it, but, you know, there was nothing stopping it. It was just an empty plastic bottle. But I'll tell you what. Does it cut? Oh, hell yeah, Dave, it cuts. All right, let's keep going. All right, it's stump time. So let's do some balance tests. We're gonna do some 4-foot drops, straight down. And I've never had a large Bowie not drop straight. I don't know what it is about these things. They're just made to drop. So what I want to do now is a couple of hard downward throws, and if we're gonna damage the tip or loosen the scales, it's gonna happen on a hard downward throw. And man, that just lands solid. Ugh. All right, let's do that again. Bam, that is solid. I gotta say, I like that. So let's take some of this little stick here. Man, I wanted to go faster. The problem is it keeps getting stuck in the log. The knife is a beast. It's a blurry beast right now, but it's a beast. See if we can't get unblurred here. There we go. Yeah, I have to say, guys, that when I call it a workhorse, I mean, it's a workhorse. This thing is awesome. Now, let's see if we can't shave down on something. It does have this ricasso here that works as a choil. It's not a true choil, but we're going to use it. Finding the angle first. And, man, here we go. So, doing this, I'm finding out, you really have to find your angle to do push cuts. Let's see if we can sharpen it the true way that you're supposed to do it. When you're talking about a Bowie and a stick, you just turn the stick to make your point. You just come down, and that's working a lot better. So for push cuts, it wasn't doing the best job. So, however, angled chopping to get a point. So if you're making a spear, you're making arrows, you're making pit spikes so you can trap some animals and have some din-din, that's good. As far as doing this kind of thing, this isn't a whittler. This is a giant Bowie, right? So let's keep getting blurry on you guys. This is a big Bowie. This, and all big Bowies are created with one purpose, and that's as fighting knives. They're not created to be survival knives. However, if this is what I have in the woods, this is what I'm surviving with. So it does make a point. That's not going to be a problem. Let's see if we can't get some feathers with this guy. And it seems like doing a pull cut is a little better than doing a push cut. I'm going to have to go with a true side grip here, just because it's so long in the blade. Let's see. And it's not the best knife for feather sticking, but if you need to get some tight curls to make a fire with, it's going to work. I guarantee you that. So let's see here. That swedge is tearing up my baton. So you can see, even though it's a hollow grind, I would have assumed that it would have just tore right through this doing that. It slowed down. And there we go. Finally, so any edge damage, any warping? No, not at all. As sharp as it is, it's very surprising that doing that just wasn't an absolute breeze. But hey, you never know what you're going to get until you try. So this guy right here, though, is a chopper. It's made to swing through things, and just lop them off. It's made to defend yourself against attackers, Bigfoot in the woods. You got some black bear chasing you down. You got to stop it because you can't run like me, and I don't mean you can't run like me because I can run. I mean, like me, you can't run. So, you got some bear chasing you down. You think, I'm not going to outrun it, so I'm just going to stop and fight. Having something like this, something this big, can be life or death in a situation in the woods. And that's important. Again, this is not your camp knife. This is not your survival knife. This is not your do-all knife. This is a cool design for big Bowie collectors, and it's an absolute fighting knife and an absolute chopper. And we're gonna go show you how good of a chopper it is right now. Let's go. All right, lads and lasses. Let me get through all the mess here. I love my trees, but I gotta say that them falling down was, good for me because it helps with the knife reviews. But let's take this branch out right here, and I'm telling you guys, it is a chopper. That was as simple as a knife chop could have been. I mean, as simple as a knife chop could have been. So let's see, we got this piece that I just took off. Let's see if we can't swing right through it here. Put it up there. I want to make sure that I'm not going to be in your way. There we go. There we go. All right. Man, the only thing still holding on was the skin. That's a single chop going straight through that. And I have to say, for a blade that wasn't able to chop through with some batoning over there, that's pretty impressive over here. Okay, let's get out of the blur, and you can see that I have that same piece. Man, I hate that blurry. I have that same piece laying down here. I want to take one more shot at it, and it just goes right in half. I mean, chopper, yeah, it's a chopper. This thing is going to be all day long. It's practically, a machete out there in the woods. Fine work? No. But is this thing going to chop your way through the jungle? Oh my Lord, it will. I have to say that the ease that I just chopped through that with was just awesome. I didn't expect it to be that good today. Coming out here, it's a cold day. The wood's a little harder than normal. And it works. It works, man. This thing will go through. So, I mean, what you're talking about with this Brian Wilhoite design, this Canyon Diablo, you're talking about getting a fighting knife that can chop down a tree. You know what I mean? You're getting a fighting knife that's also a hatchet. And that's cool. Actually, it's not cool. I hate the cold. So, what are you buying this knife for? If you're a collector of big Bowies, well, then that's a good thing right there. You already have a cool collectible piece right there. This is something you can add to your collection. The shape is gorgeous. The fit in the hand is wonderful. The blade strength so far is fantastic. I have no problems. The edge is holding up. But it's not just something that I can hang on my wall. This thing is something I can just take out and chop with. This is something I can use. This is something I can fight with. The handle, I'm going to show you the shape. You see how it goes narrow to fat to narrow to fat and back to narrow? There are so many areas. My middle finger fits in the narrow in the middle. my forefinger and my thumb fit right up top, and then it has this nice feel right here. And that is a great fit in the hand. That is a great fit. Of course, the only thing is if you're chopping, don't let it slide too much, because this is going to get you right here. However, if you're wearing gloves, you don't have to worry about that. If you're using it as a fighting knife, you don't have to worry about that. Only chopping. And even with that, I have no problem. I mean, no problem sitting there and whacking away through some logs here. So that's not too shabby. But we don't know how good a knife is until we chuck it. And generally, you don't want to throw a hollow grind. You just don't want to do it. But I'm down to be all day, and I don't care. If I break it, I'll just get a new one. Yeah. All right, what do you say we give this bad mamba jamba a toss? I gotta say, man, it's quite impressive to look at. I do like it. Well, we're gonna go 5 yards. We're gonna get it to turn around here. Well, I hit the edge. The problem was I hit the edge tail down. So that was wrong. So that means I need to step back just a little bit. Oh, that was on the tip. Guys, I know you love watching me fail. There's no damage so far. But, you know, this is all about making it, not making it. So I'm going to try not to fail. It is really weird to throw. I got to say that. Oh. All right, so I'm having the hardest time figuring out how to get this thing to fly straight. I might just change my grip up here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, with every grip change comes, you know, a learning process. So I'm going to count that one as the learning process. Oh my goodness. I cannot throw this. I did lose a spacer. I have to say that. Those are just glued in there. I just lost one. So there's one thing, but of course, you know, it's not made for this. All right. I just changed my grip entirely to get this thing to stick. Once it did, it really stuck. So as you see, I have this Damascus spacer right here. And as you see, I'm missing a Damascus spacer right here. It flew out. It's somewhere over here. What I'll do is I'll get the metal detector and just find it, and then I'll glue it in there and make it a little bit better. But with all those misses, you can see, I mean, you see this handguard has stuff all kinds of through it and in it and just all over the place. I hit the heel, I hit the top, I hit the sides. No loosening at all on the scales. The only thing that happened was I lost a spacer, which I'm going to find and fix. And even if I didn't find it, that's something that I can easily replace with just about anything. I could use wood for that, put it in there and sand it down. But all in all, for the beating that this thing just took, to just lose one little tiny spacer, I gotta say, I'm impressed. It's built pretty tough. It really took me a while to find it. My first throws were from the handle. I tried throwing it up a little bit, and then I went down lower because I was getting drag from the end, and that wasn't working. So finally I said, screw it, and I just went from the blade, and that's how you saw that thing stick. Man, there's no loosening in these bone scales at all. The pins are solid. The edge is solid. Man, no problems at all. The tip is solid. Not too bad, man. Not too bad. I sacrificed loosening a little tiny spacer, and that's it. So this is the Canyon Diablo. I think it's called like the NIB, Brian Wilhoite, Canyon Diablo Bowie. So it's got a huge name, but it's a huge knife. So I guess it makes sense. Can I recommend this thing? I recommend this to any Bowie collector. If you're looking for a chopper and something that you can just mow down wood with, or if you want like to use a Bowie in your house to knock down firewood just because you think it's cool, and you know what I mean, like I do, then hell yeah, I can definitely say if you buy one of these, you're gonna dig it. This is a really cool knife. If you want to use it as a hiking knife for defensive purposes in the woods, oh my god, yeah, this thing will definitely do the job. It is a very, very good looking knife. So I can definitely recommend it for that. If you're saying, hey man, I need an everyday camp knife, something that I can do all my tasks with, then I'm going to say choose a different knife. But this guy right here for chopping, for defense in the woods, and even maybe, you know, a throw here and there, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm going to find that little spacer. I'm going to glue it in there, and I'm going to keep rocking with this knife. I'm going to keep using it just because I think it's cool. I'm going to use it for firewood and for delimbing this tree, and I have a whole bunch of other knives that I use for the same purpose, but I like to alternate because I love swinging my knives, man. All right, so Brian Wilhoite, Canyon Diablo. Not too shabby, guys. Not too shabby. I dig it. I think you'll dig it. I'm down to be all day. Until next knife.